And, of course, the pièce de résistance, the cake. I've ordered a birthday cake. Now, clearly, it's not our intention that all the guests should have a piece. It'd have to be a hell of a size to be enough for over 100 people. It's really a token gesture. However, it will be large enough for 75 candles. And on it will be written, in surgical green icing, Happy Birthday, Sir Geoffrey. I hope the gala dinner committee approves.
Yes.
It sounds terrific. I was just thinking, when they ice the cake, why don't they decorate it with a little scalpel or perhaps a pair of forceps?
What a good idea.
Or a liver. Or maybe a kidney. Add a little touch of colour.
The replies are coming in thick and fast. Mostly in the affirmative, I'm glad to say. Now, the Minister of Health can't attend due to a previous engagement.
Probably playing golf.
But his office will be sending a representative. Great tribute to your father, I'm sure you'll agree, Geraldine. We've had confirmations from our local MP, our Euro MP, the Mayor, the editors of The Lancet, and the BMJ. Now, we're waiting to hear about a royal, but I'm pretty confident we'll get Princess Helena of Westphalia. She and I sit on 1 or 2 standing committees.
Oh, really?
Now, Geraldine, don't breathe a word to your father. But I have arranged something rather super. I went to a charity dinner last week, and I was introduced to somebody who's very high up number 10 wise. And he's going to arrange to have a birthday greeting sent. Isn't that marvellous?
Marvellous.
So where's Dick? I thought he was supposed to be on this gala dinner committee.
I should have given his apologies, actually. He's still at the hospital, rather behind with his work. Mind you... Oh, I'll just get that.
Oh, what are we doing here?
We, Duncan, are on the gala dinner committee.
Gala dinner committee makes me want to throw up. I mean, it's so hypocritical. I mean, it's obviously one of Emma Stewart Clark's self-promotion exercises. Another step towards Dick's knighthood.
All right, keep your voice down.
It's no wonder he's behind with his work. She's got him running around like a rat with piles.
Duncan, I said this right from the start. I don't know why you're suddenly getting so steamed up
Because
about
I can't stand insincerity. I mean, your father's being used, manipulated to further Dick's career. I mean, look at this table chart she's given us. I mean, your father's sitting in the top table surrounded by Princess Rent-a-Royal and a load of people he doesn't know. Oh, except Emma and Dick centre stage creeping for England.
Then say something if you feel so strongly about it. Either put up or shut up.
Yeah, well, I suppose he's looking forward to it, isn't he?
Exactly, so shut up.
Geraldine's right. Look, if Geoffrey has a fantastic evening with all his friends around him, what does it matter if Emma and Dick's motives aren't sincere? Hello, Dick. We were just saying how much we're looking forward to the gala dinner.
Yes, my father's really excited.
Well, between you and I, I'll be glad when it's over. Emma's driving me potty.
Really? Oh, good man. Cheers. Oh, just a small one, please.
Oh, damn! Oh, I was supposed to talk to the caterers today.
Oh.
Marvellous news. We've got Princess Helena.
Well done, darling.
And Tatler and Harper's and Queen are going to cover it. Oh, darling, do you manage to talk to the caterers?
Oh, yes, all in hand.
Good. Now, 1 or 2 other
Dad,
little...
I need to talk to you.
Rebecca?
Howard, Dad, this is really important. We had a meeting this afternoon.
Who had a meeting this afternoon?
Student Action Committee. Look, we desperately need a computer. Now, they cost about £2,000. Can you help us?
Oh.
Your father can't afford £2,000 for a computer.
Not Dad, the hospital. Look, do you think you could get us something out of the contingency fund?
What contingency fund?
Well, I don't know. There must be a contingency fund for educational aids.
No, there is not a contingency fund.
I'll just get some more ice.
Anyway, what on earth do you want a computer for?
To put information on. For reference. We need a database, Dad. We just can't manage without a computer.
Well, we managed when we were students.
Yeah, well, things have moved on a little since Louis Pasteur's day.
If you want a computer, you'll just have to jolly well go out and raise the money yourselves. The hospital can't afford it.
How am I supposed to raise £2,000?
Use your initiative. That's what we used to do, didn't we?
Yes, that's right. We used to use our initiative.
What sort of things did you have to raise money for?
Oh, well, nothing so frivolous as a computer. Important things like refurbishing the bar bar and the annual outing to the Pussycat A-Go-Go in Brewer Street.
How did you raise money when you were students?
Lord, no. Sponsored walks, things like that.
Oh, boring.
What sort of thing did we do?
I can't remember.
Oh, me neither.
Oh, I'll go back and talk to the committee.
I remember what we used to do.
So do I, and we don't want any of that.
The Flanagan boy had a comfortable night. He's taking fluids.
Good. What's the latest on the Chinese lab?
We haven't had the results back from the lab yet.
What? Oh, yeah, what's the point of writing urgent on it?
I know, I've already been on to them. They're short-staffed.
Now listen, that kid is sick. I can't make any decisions until I get results. Now tell her to get that blessed fingers out.
Sorry, Jonathan.
Is the newborn on maternity still being ventilated?
We're hoping to wean her off tonight.
Good.
Look, I wondered if you could speak to the parents sometime. I've reassured them, but they're still very uptight.
Hardly surprising.
Switchboard.
Yeah, you please, Mr. Waring.
Hang on, Mr. Waring. I have Professor Stuart Clark on the line.
If they're visiting this afternoon, I'll see him after my clinic.
Duncan, I need to see you. Can you come to my office?
I'm about to start the ward round. Is it urgent?
Very urgent. I must see all the senior staff right away.
Well, you better start the ward round without me. I've got to see Stuart Clark. It seems there's some sort of crisis.
Oh, Dr. Snell.
Can't talk now. Got a meeting with the prof. Something's come up.
What's the problem, Dick? What's happened?
Look, just get here as quickly as you can. I need to talk to the senior members of staff.
Right.
Do you think he's going to announce something about ward closures? Or maybe it's about opting out?
Maybe, or not opting out, who knows?
He sounded very agitated.
Oh, I wouldn't take any notice of that. He's agitated about everything these days. I think it's his prostate. Oh, what's all this about?
We're waiting for Professor Stuart Clark.
Well, where the hell is he? I rushed over here like a lunatic.
He won't be long. He just had to, pop out for a second.
His prostate.
Oh, yes. Sorry to keep you waiting. I just had to, Margaret, there's still no towel in the gents' loo. Get them to do something about it, will you? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to call you here so abruptly, but I need to talk to you on a most important matter. Paul, just in time.
Sorry. What is it? More ward closures?
I was just saying, Paul, the reason I called you all here is I have to discuss an extremely important matter. What are we going to buy Sir Geoffrey Loftus for his 75th birthday?
God, Stuart Clark, is that what all this is about? Just to discuss what prezzies to buy for Geoffrey's birthday?
Well, are we going to club together or give individual presents? Emma needs to know. She's trying to work out a programme for the gala dinner. She's under enormous pressure.
Yeah, and so am I. I've got a hell of a day ahead of me, and I'm late for my ward round.
Well, I have to say, I'm appalled.
Thank you, Lionel. There you are.
No, I'm appalled at you, Dr. Waring.
What?
Richard and his good lady wife are organising this gala dinner out of the goodness of their hearts and at great personal expense. Frankly, I'd have thought you could be a little more cooperative. Especially when one considers that the guest of honour is your own father-in-law.
Absolutely right, Lionel. It is extremely generous of Dick and Emma. But at this moment, I have a ward full of sick children. So I will just agree with whatever you lot agree to.
Well, personally speaking, I think it would be very nice if we gave a joint present. And I, for one, would be happy to contribute.
Good, good. Well, now, what sort of figure should we be thinking of? Any, bidders, so to speak?
Well, it's got to be something decent, hasn't it? I mean, Sir Geoffrey Loftus is a pillar of St. Swithin's. He's been here a long, long time. I think each of us should give something like,
£100!
£100. Well, any thoughts on that?
Yes, well, actually, I think that...
Don't forget, Thanks to Professor Stuart Clark's generosity, we're not having to pay for the dinner. If you look at it that way, £100 really isn't a lot, is it?
No.
And whilst on the subject, I don't think anybody will object if I suggest, in view of his generosity, we waive Professor Stuart Clark's contribution.
Oh, well, we'll see about that. In the meantime, thank you all. £100 is extremely generous. And I'm sure we'll find a splendid present for Sir Geoffrey.
Yes. There's just one thing. I've actually bought something for Sir Geoffrey. Being on his firm as a student, I felt I'd like to get something special, a bit personal. So I'm sure you'll all understand if I don't chip in. Is that H. Samuel? Yes. Could you tell me, please, how much are tankards? No. Silver-plated.
It's not...
£100? Are you off your trolley?
It's not a lot when you consider we're not paying for the dinner. And you did say you'd go along with the majority decision. I think it's very unfair on the others if you back out now.
I'm not forking out £100. What were we going to buy him, a set of 18-carat gold scalpels?
That's not a bad idea.
Look, has everybody agreed to this stupid suggestion of yours?
Not one person was against it.
They're all going to cough up £100?
Well, no.
Ah.
No, I suggested we should waive Richard's contribution, since he's paying for the dinner.
Dick Stuart Clark's putting his hand in his pocket, do you? Emma's father's paying for it. And what about Mr. Tightwad? Has he agreed?
Who?
Paul Collier. I can't see him opening his wallet.
As it happens, Paul was very keen.
I don't believe it.
Yes, he was very keen. Just so happens he's already bought a present for Sir Geoffrey.
What?
Something personal.
Well, in that case, I'm going to buy him something personal, too. And I suggest everybody else does. £100.
Well, you could always try a raffle. Scalpel. Now, holding the scalpel firmly in the right hand, we make an incision in the upper abdomen. Of course, if you're left-handed, you hold the scalpel in the left hand. You see, surgery is very logical. Now, Crabtree, where were we?
You were just about to make an incision, sir.
Oh, yes. We make an incision in the upper abdomen. So. It's only blood, Crabtree. If you're going to be a surgeon, there's a possibility you might come across rather a lot of it. Spencer Wells, we tie off the bleeding points. And now we divide the fascia. Scalpel. By cutting along the dotted line. So. All right, Crabtree? Good. Next, we cut the peritoneum. So. And then we have a little feel around. Now, what were we talking about? Oh, yes, ways to raise money for your computer.
Oh, yeah. And I'm not so keen on the pushing a couple around London on a hospital bed idea either. That's really just a glorified sponsored walk.
Yes, well, we didn't end up with very much in the kitty anyway. Not after we paid off the fine.
Well, why'd you get fined, sir?
They're causing obstruction on Westminster Bridge. Mind you, when I think of what the couple were doing on the bed, we were lucky we didn't get done for obscene behaviour.
You won't ask who the couple were?
No, it wasn't your father. Swab. I don't think it was.
Have you got any other ideas, Mr. Collier?
Well, you could always try the celebrity auction.
What, writing to famous people and asking them to send us something personal? Nah, it's been done so often.
And half the people don't reply anyway.
Yes, well, our celebrity auction had a slight variation. The something personal wasn't donated quite so freely.
You stole from famous people?
Yes, in a manner of speaking. All right, but you didn't hear this from me, OK? Back in the 60s, when I was a second-year student, a famous pop star came in for some minor surgery. Marty, something, I can't remember. But he was very, very popular. I mean, he was so popular, Clamp, he was so popular that people would have killed just to get a lock of his hair. And a certain enterprising student managed to acquire his appendix, which we raffled off for quite a tidy sum.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes, well, it was when you considered there's nothing wrong with his appendix.
What a great scam! I mean, if we could get, say, Joan Collins' appendix, we could earn a fortune.
Oh, marvellous. Yeah, we'll write to her. Dear Miss Collins, could you spare us your appendix? or failing that, your tonsil or two? I mean, they had a lucky break. They happen to have a famous person come in for an op.
It's just a one-off.
No, Crabtree. We managed to sell off quite a few celebrity organs, which, if one were truthful, were not always covered by the Trades Description Act.
How do you mean?
Well, look, if I whipped out this appendix and claimed it had belonged to Joan Collins, who's to say it hadn't?
Well, Joan Collins, if she's still got one inside her.
True, Mr. Crabtree, but occasionally in this life one must take risks.
Hey, I saw this singer on TV the other day saying how he lost weight using liposuction.
What the hell is liposuction?
Well, it's a way of losing weight. A lot of famous people go in for it. The fat is literally sucked off the body.
What has that got to do with raising money for a computer?
Well, what happens to all that celebrity fat? We could use it. And we could package it and raise it.
Please, you upset Mr. Crabtree. Now, come on, Crabtree, stick your hand in there. Have a feel around. Come on, tell me what you can find. Come on.
I have to say I'm extremely touched by Richard and Emma's generosity. It's so kind of them to organise this dinner in my honour.
It's a good thing you came over to try these on. I've got to take them in at least an inch.
Professor Dryberg's flying over from California, especially. Did I tell you?
Yes, it's marvellous. Now, you go and get change, and then when Duncan comes in, we'll eat.
We went through medical school together, Norman and I. Hope he'd be all right travelling all that way at his age.
Hello, Geoffrey. You didn't have to dress for dinner. We're quite informal here.
Very droll.
Hi, Snooks. He's a bit premature, isn't he? The do's not till next week.
He wanted to try it on. He's so thrilled. It's a good thing, as it happens, I've got to take it in at the waist.
Yeah, and a visit to the dry cleaners wouldn't go amiss. The smell of the mothballs might put Princess Elena off her pie and mash.
He's so excited. He's like a little boy. I hope the night won't be too much for him.
Geraldine! Look what I found.
Oh.
That was the last function your mother and I attended together. I found it in the inside pocket. Wish you could have been there next week. She'd have been so proud. Did I tell you Professor Dryberg's coming over from California? Especially?
Quite right, too.
And Gordon Sinclair and his wife are coming up from Cornwall. And old Jack McNabb, he's going to be there. Oh, it'll be wonderful to be surrounded by my old friends. So kind of Richard and Emma to do this for me. Oh, is that the table, right? Let me see. Who are all these people?
What people, Dad?
These people on the top table. I don't know them.
Well, they're the VIPs.
But I don't know them. I imagine I'd be sitting up there with all my colleagues and friends. I'll telephone Emma. There's obviously been a mistake.
No, I don't think it's a mistake, Dad.
Of course it's a mistake. Norman Dryberg should be on the top table. He was my best man. He's coming all the way from California. And Gordon Sinclair, I was his best man. And old Jack McNabb, he was my anaesthetist in the early years. He should be on the top table. Now you, Geraldine, you should be on the top table. Where are you?
On the top table, Daddy.
Where?
There, at the end.
You shouldn't be at the end. You should be next to me.
Emma's next to you, Daddy.
On the other side, then.
Dick's on the other side.
I don't want Dick on the other side. I don't want Emma and Dick next to me. I want you next to me, and Norman and Gordon and Jack McNabb, people who mean something to me. These are all friends of Emma Stewart Clark.
They are paying for it, Geoffrey.
I think I'll get out of this suit.
Wish he wouldn't get so worked up. It's not good for him.
You're kidding. He loves it, shouting at people. The ogre of St. Swithins, we used to call him. That's what we should do on his birthday. Get together all his old students, and then he could shout at us.
He looks so frail.
Mm-hmm. A bit like an undernourished penguin.
Oh, Grandad, you look like a penguin.
Shut up!
Maybe the poor old sod. He's been completely ignored. Nobody's talking to him.
Who's that Dick's been bowing and scraping to all evening?
I don't know. Someone high up in the gong department.
Very witty, Lady Noble. Most amusing. Yes, indeed.
Dear, dear. It's enough to bring up the old bœuf en croûte. Is Geoffrey going to speak?
If they remember to ask him. Well, I wonder where the phones are. I've got to ring the hospital. Got a youngster in intensive care.
Here, use mine.
Excuse me, Sir Geoffrey. Congratulations, Sir Geoffrey. On behalf of Mrs. Snell and myself, may I present you with this gift as a small token of our respect and esteem?
Thank you, Lionel. That's most kind.
Not at all, Sir Geoffrey.
Oh, can I open it now?
Oh, it's up to you.
Thank you, Lionel.
There's an inscription.
Thank you, Lionel. Most kind. And thank Brenda for me, would you?
I will indeed. She sends her apologies. She would have been here tonight, but she's playing a badminton match. Semi-final.
Thank you, Lionel. It's much appreciated. Everybody's been so kind.
Oh, yes, when I travel abroad on my research trips, I find there's enormous respect for our Prime Minister.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Oh, thank you. Yes, indeed. Enormous respect. Do excuse me a moment.
Yes, every time he lifts that tankard to his lips, he'll think of me.
And then probably throw up.
You're an embittered old sod, you know that?
Of course. Order me another brandy.
You've just been complaining, it gives you heartburn.
I know, but knowing Dick's paying for it makes the suffering worthwhile.
It's not funny, Duncan.
I think it's hilarious.
What is it? What's happened?
They've kidnapped Geoffrey.
Who has?
They're students. They want £2,000 for a computer. When I see Rebecca, I'll throttle her.
Wonderful evening, Professor Stuart Clark.
Thank you so much.
Where's the birthday boy? I've got a little present for him.
I believe he's just popped out for a moment. Call of nature? Where the hell did they get an idea like this?
God knows. It's disgraceful.
It's unforgivable. Right.
Well done, Paul.
It's nothing to do with me. I never gave them the idea. I didn't. Anyway, I didn't mean Loftus, I mean Dick. I didn't mean tonight. Mind you, you've got to admire them. They've got old Dick by the proverbials.
Paul, I'm proud of you.
Unforgivable. Absolutely unforgivable. What were you thinking of?
Getting a computer.
Don't be rude to your father. I don't know how you could do this to me tonight of all nights.
Oh, come on, Mum. I'm sure Dad got up to far worse things.
Never. Never, ever. I've no objections to fundraising pranks, but this has gone beyond the pale. We never kidnapped people. It's totally irresponsible.
Especially our guest of honor. Especially my father.
He's an old man. Did you consider that?
Of course she considered it. She's not totally irresponsible.
Yes, she is. Dick just said so.
Look, Geraldine, I'm sure he's perfectly safe.
Of course he's safe.
See, of course he's safe.
You say that. He's 75.
I know he's 75, Geraldine. That's what this whole evening's about.
Give him the bloody computer and let's get on with it.
OK, ladies, you go back into the hall, and I'm sure Sir Geoffrey will be with us in a few minutes.
£2,000, very generous, Dick.
Don't worry, I'll stop the cheque in the morning.
You can't do that. You'll give me your word of honour.
Honour? I wouldn't have thought that word came into your vocabulary, Collier.
Don't take it out on me. It's nothing to do with me.
Paul's right, Hip. You can't renege now.
Oh, really? What about a contribution from you, then? He's your father-in-law.
He's your guest of honour.
Which is your daughter.
Oh, come on.
And there'll be no recriminations, Dad, you promise?
Word of honour. No, come on, Rebecca. We've got over 100 guests waiting.
I shouldn't think anybody's noticed. He's been gone less than a quarter of an hour.
Sir Geoffrey, I'm terribly sorry. Geoffrey. Geoffrey.
He's asleep, isn't he?
Geoffrey!
Fooled you there, eh, Stuart Clark? Well, come on, then, you three. Give me a hand.
Mind your head. Yes, of course.
Let you go now for a moment, Waring. Collier.
Sir Geoffrey, please accept my apologies for this invasion about your person. It was a student prank which went horribly wrong, and I can assure you those responsible will be severely reprimanded.
Dad!
And dealt with in the severest possible manner.
Oh, shut up, you old windbag. At least these young students had the courtesy and good manners to come to my home and ask me if I minded being kidnapped. Not like you three ruffians. You nearly gave me a heart attack every time you did it. Did you get the money, Rebecca?
Yes, and thank you for your cooperation, Sir Geoffrey.
Not at all, my dear. It was a pleasure. Right then, let's get back to the party. Hurry up, you three. There's a knighthood at stake. Hey, Stuart Clark.